Hi there, kids. Welcome back to another video. I hope these are helping you, and we have a lot more ahead. Today is lesson 5 in module 1, and the objective for today is all about reading decimals, regular numbers, in multiple forms. Okay, so you have to name decimal fractions in several different forms: expanded form, unit form, and word forms. And how are you going to do this? Well, we're going to apply place value reasoning. Listen to my voice. It's so much better than the previous video. Yay, making progress. Anyhow, so I have some notes here and I want you to pause the video and write them down. I'm going to kind of talk through them for a quick minute. So in the book, they use kind of weird terminology. I call it weird because you never really hear people talking about making a copy of something in math. You might make copies, on the copier, and that's essentially what you're doing. It's related to multiplication. So here are some samples, like 1,000th. If this is, say, fraction form, they might multiply that by a number, one copy of 1,000th. So look for that terminology. There are a few different forms, very important to note. Standard form, it's really just the answer. It's just the number. They want you to work it out or show it. Sometimes you have to solve, but today we're just rewriting numbers. Sometimes you will see things with parentheses around it like this in the book. I really kind of frown on that because when you get into higher math, you're going to see things grouped this way. They have to be grouped around the operation sign. So for me, it's like, why you have to multiply it by this number? I don't really understand that, but again, I'm not a math major. I was an English major, but I sure know how this is going to go. So in expanded form, you're taking the value of a digit away from its place value position. Now here we just have ones, so that doesn't really help. I'll show you some different stuff in a sec. So more likely you're going to see it written like this. Sometimes you'll see it written as a fraction with no parentheses, but I want you to know that the same value can be written two different ways: fraction form, decimal form. Decimal form right here, right there. Okay? Unit form is this kind of weird thing that honestly I got through my whole life without using unit form, but you may find it helpful as we get into some of the other math and then as you get into higher skills. So it's all about place value positions and naming it. That's why you really have to know your place value positions. You can write the digit and then put the place value position. Easy peasy, okay? An example of, I don't really have too many more examples here. I'll get to some other stuff in a sec. If I have, say, 3 times 1, 1,000th, you would end up with 3 times 1, which would give you 3 over thousandths. But the same can be written with the decimal. Word form, I'm skipping a little bit here. This is unit form right here. But word form would look like just the words, as opposed to the unit form, which has the actual digit, then the place value. The difference is you would say it as you read it. So this number here would be written out all in words, okay? Those are your first page of notes. Now this one you don't have to copy everything because it's kind of a repeat, but it says a couple other things with some great examples. You don't have to write all this, but standard form, it means just write the number. Another example of word form, which you don't have to copy. Here's a great helper for expanded form. If I'm looking at this number 4 and 2500ths, you take each digit with value and multiply it by the number for that place value position. 4 is in the ones place, therefore it's times 1. Okay. 2 is in the tenths place, but tenth is 1/10 of 1, so you have to multiply it by a tenth. 5 is in the hundredths place, therefore it's times 1/100th. And all of these can be written in decimal form instead. That's the only difference between this and this, fraction or decimal. Okay? And then just a few other things here at the bottom to really kind of understand this unit form because, again, kind of odd, not going to lie. Take the 4.25 or 4 and 25 hundredths, read it correctly, and then write the digit with the place value. Digit, place value, digit, place value. Do not write and. We don't need and because the place value positions are already named. Now there's a challenging one, and there's some other stuff that we'll get into in the book in just a minute. And it's when you have to recluster numbers by different place value positions. Look at this one. Here's unit form. 2 tens, 5 ones, 4 tenths, 100th, 3 thousandths. There's your standard unit form that we've been talking about so far. Guess what? This book is going to challenge you. They might regroup or recluster and only use one place value position here. So what you have to do is you have to group everything to the left all the way up to ones. So here it's 25 ones. Then if they're only going to use thousandths, regroup everything up from here, because we already named it, everything that's left up to thousandths. I know it's complicated. My apologies. I didn't write the program. I'm just trying to teach it to you. Okay, so here we are, lesson 5, problem set. My page is 35. Hopefully you have the same. You have to express these word form and fraction form, standard form, as decimal numerals over here. The first one's done for you, 4 thousandths, 4 in the thousandths position. So we have to read and understand. 24 thousandths. Watch for the THS. It's a clue. It's telling you tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I must get to this position. How do I write 24 and end up in the thousandths position? So I put my 4 where it has to land, create the whole number as it's read, and then anchor your way back to the decimal by putting a 0, if needed, in any blank spots. I also will put a 0 here for the ones because there are no ones here. So your final answer is 0 and 24 thousandths. And you can read that as 24 thousandths, which is what they have here. Next one. Look at what this has. And. 1 and 324 thousandths. Same ending here, but I have some new stuff here. So how do I write that? 1 and. If you see the and, that is your decimal every time. 1 and 324. Last time I had 24. This time I have 324. As long as you end in the thousandths position, your numbers are placed correctly, or your digits are placed correctly. Okay, let's do another. 608 thousandths. THS is a clue. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. If you use these place value positions and fill in the blanks, you'll be reading the number correctly and you can fill in that way. What am I going to have here? Maybe nothing. This doesn't say and. So I will have a 0, then 608. Now, if I was just reading that number, I would say 608, like that. I have to land in the thousandths position. So I have 3 digits to place. So I place them like this. Okay? Now this one has 600 and 8 thousandths. Now don't be fooled. It's slightly different. We have 600, which is really 600. 600 ones, but it's word form, so they don't write ones. You just have to know that and means put the decimal. 8 thousandths, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. If I only have 8, that has to land here. It's not 28, it's not 328, it's 8. So I have no other digits here, therefore fill in with zeros. Next one. When you have the number in fraction form or standard form, and we have to interpret this and put it in decimal form, read it correctly. It's not 46 over 1,000. It's 46 thousandths. So place value positions, tenths, hundredths, thousandths. I need to end up here. If I have 46, fill in 46 in the proper place value positions. Now everything else, if there's no value, fill in with zeros. Okay? So your tool today is to put in the place value blanks and then fill them in. Here we have a whole number. 3 is the whole number. That means 3 ones. 946 thousandths means I have 3 digits already, and you can fill in 946 thousandths as I read it properly. Here you have 200 and 904 thousandths. Since I have more digits on the left, I want to make sure to write the whole 200, then fill in your blanks. Where do I put the digits? 904 thousandths, 904 thousandths. Don't change them, don't separate them, don't insert any digits or zeros. They stay together. The only time you put in a 0 is if you run out of digits to put in, okay? Next one, express the following values in words. This is the word form, meaning don't put any digits, it's all writing. 5, in what position? Thousandths. Okay, next one, you see that you have a decimal, so you have to say and. So what number is this? It's 11. Then write and, because you have to say and for the decimal. What number is left? You don't say 0. I would say 37. 37. What place value position does it land in? It's tenths, hundredths, thousandths. Only write thousandths. Okay? Next one. Read the whole number up to the decimal. 403. Don't say 403. No, no, no. That's not correct. 403. Then, and what's left? This is how you read big numbers. 608. Watch out for those zeros. 608 thousandths. DTHS. Don't forget the THS. You have to get to that place value position because that's where it lands. It's all about where is that last digit, and then read that place value position. For the next piece of this, you have to do a couple of things. First of all, you're going to need to create a place value chart. This one's done for you, but the ones on the back are not. Then you have to write it in expanded form and also use fractions or decimals to show express the decimal place value units. Now it's done for you with the place value chart, so we'll turn the page and then we can refer back. Remember, I said I don't like the parentheses around only that. I prefer parentheses around everything that will be multiplied together, which is 7 and the 1/1000th. So that's the way I write it. Okay, that's the way they'll write it in higher math. So 249 thousandths. First of all, we need a place value chart. So make a big long rectangle, big enough for 4 place value positions. This is ones, but we have nothing there. Put your decimal. Then we have 3 positions to the right, tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Place each number where it belongs. 2 is in the first position past the decimal, tenths. 4 in the hundredths, 9 in the thousandths. That's the easy part. Then we're going to take the 249 and we're going to separate each digit by its value, okay? So since 2 is in the tenths place, I'm going to put 2 times 1/10. The value of the 2, well, it's 1/10 of 2. It's 2/10. So in between each of these multiplication operations, you're going to put a plus, because eventually when we put them all together, it will add up to 249 thousandths. So we're separating it out, and then we're going to put it back together. How do you get 4 in the hundredths place? Put a parenthesis. Take the 4 away, and then multiply it by the value of that position, which is hundredths. End your parenthesis. Put a plus. The next one is 9 times 1,000th. Now, when I do 2 times 1/10 and 4 times 1/100th and 9 times 1/1000th, I add each digit in its place value position together. After calculating, this is what you get. Okay? You can also, if you prefer, do 2 times 1/10 this way, 4 times 1/100th that way, and 9 times 1/1000th that way. Okay? So as my lead comes out, I hope I have another one. Yay, I have another lead. So let's do one more chart. But this one, we only had 3 digits plus the 0 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 digits. Let's make a nice long place value position. Each one has to have room for us to label. Put your decimal here because we have 2 positions to the left of the decimal. Tens, ones. What's here? What's here? THS. What's here? THS. Now that they're labeled, put each digit where it belongs. This is the easy part. 5 tens, 7 ones, 2 tenths, 8 hundredths, 1,000th. Put everything where it belongs. Now let's expand everything. We have to equal 57 and 281 thousandths. So let's work with the 5 first, always left to right. 5 times what would give you 50? 10. 7 times what would give you 7 ones? 1 plus. 2 times what will give you 2 tenths? 1/10. 8 times what will give you 8 hundredths? 1/100th. 1 times what will give you 1/1000th? 1/1000th. Okay? And again, same thing here. Same. If you would rather put this, if you would rather put this, if you would rather put this, that's fine. Okay? Your choice. Number 4. Write a decimal for each of the following. Use a place value chart if necessary. You don't have to. So really all we need to do is put an equal sign and figure it out. What will help you, I promise, is if you go on a search, a hunt, okay? Every time you see a plus, that's going to be breaking up an operation in between parentheses. So if you find a multiplication sign, multiplication has more power than addition. So we have to do this first. Then more power for multiplication. Do this first before adding. This is what I don't like about the book. Putting the parenthesis here, it's confusing. It belongs here. Loop in that 6 so that we know to multiply 6 times 1/10. Loop in that 9 to multiply by 1/100th. Loop in the 2 with the 1,000th. Notice that the pluses separate all of the operations each time, and then we will add them at the end. Okay? So this part's really fun. 7 times 10 gives you 70. So I'm going to make my place value positions on blanks, and then I'm going to fill them in. I have tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Blank, blank, blank. Oh, there go the lights. Come back, lights. Thank you so much, lights. 4 times 1 is 4 in the ones. 6 times 1/10 is 6 in the tenths place. 9 times 1/100th, 9 in the hundredths place. 2 times 1,000th, 2 in the thousandths place. See how fun and easy it is? Once you get the hang of those place value positions, you can really see where to put the digits. Let's collect them in parentheses. 5 times 100. Very important to note, we have a number in the hundreds place. 3 times 10. We're going to have a number in the tens place. Plus 8 times 1/10. I might have something missing because I'm already here. Plus 9 times 1/1000th. Capture all the multiplication signs inside the parentheses, please. Make sure the pluses are between the parentheses, okay? Now we can do our work. 5 times 100 is 5 in the hundreds place. I didn't even finish this. Look at me. Let me finish. Finish it out. 5 in the hundreds place. Ones, tens, hundreds. Put her there. 3 times 10, 30. 3 in the tens. 8 times 1/10. Do I have anything times 1? No. Hold it with a 0. But I do have 8 times 1/10. That is 8 times tenths. 8 tenths. 9 times 1/1000th. That's over here. This is hundredths. This is thousandths. This is where my 9 goes. Therefore, I have to put a 0 there. So the trick is, and the book is very, very tricky about this, they're not going to make anything easy for you. They're going to make you think. So watch out. If there's only 0.1 and then 0.001, they skipped the 0.01. They skipped it. Okay? Let's finish up here. C. Multiply, collect those two, then plus. Multiply these two, then the plus. Multiply these two. Look for those timeses. Collect and surround. Surround the multiplications. Make sure the pluses are in between. Create your place value chart so that you know where to put your digits. 4 times 1,000 means thousands place, hundreds place, tens, ones, decimal. Do I have decimal fractions? Yes, I do. I don't have any tenths, but I have hundredths and thousandths. So I have all these places to fill in. 4 times 1,000, 4 in the thousands. 2 times 100, 2 in the hundreds. 7 times 1. Oh, those tricksters. There are no tens. How about 3 times 1/100th? What about here? I'm already at hundredths. 4 times 1,000th. Thousandths. No tenths, so fill it in with a 0. Now we're to the last question, okay? Mr. Pham wrote 2 and 619 thousandths on the board, 2.619. Christy says it's 2 and 619 thousandths. Isn't that what I just said? 2 and 619 thousandths. Nice job, Christy. High five. Cha. Amy says it's 2 ones, okay. 6 tenths, okay. 100th, okay. 9 thousandths, okay. Who's right? They're both right. They're both right, okay? Use words and numbers to explain your answer. They're both correct. Christy read the number as it's written, as it is written in standard form. Okay? And so she's reading it correctly. Word form. Okay, so this is standard form. This is word form. Sorry. Okay, 2 and 619 thousandths. Right there. Now, Amy expressed her answer using unit form. It's still correct. She's just writing it a different way. They're both correct. They're both smart kids, and they did great with this lesson. And hopefully you did too. Be a subscriber. Come back again. I have a lot more videos and a lot more we're going to do. So have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.